All right, guys, welcome. Now, this is the inaugural Monday night bodybuilding every Monday, 9 p.m. Pacific Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. East Pacific Standard Time. So I'm getting all mixed up here. I'll get used to saying it. Monday night bodybuilding with the man, Phil, the Jamaican Tank, Clay Harman. Welcome to Monday night bodybuilding. We had to give the show a name. Right? I mean, it was just a show, a live show that we were doing weekly. And I'm like, wait a minute. we need a name for our weekly show.
That's right. That's prime time right there, brother. Prime time.
Prime time, Monday night. What better than to call it Monday night bodybuilding? So that's what it's going to be moving forward, guys. Man, lots to talk about today. Get things going here. Now I have a poll in the live chat poll here. And I want to get these conversations going here with regards to, and the reason why I bring these up is I'm not trying to be an asshole or anything like that, but having electronic score sheets, electronic ballots for the judging system, right? Versus paper and pencil, which is what we have today, still 2025. And, Phil, what's your thought process on moving into the modern era, okay, doing what the Olympics does, doing what other sports do, which is use electronic scoring systems to judge their shows and to track things, right, and put out scores immediately. What do you think? Would it be a bad thing to do, or would it be a good thing?
I think that's a great idea. I mean, that should have been happened a little bit ago. I mean, this is stuff they've been doing 20 years ago, if not more, right? And if you look at the fitness world, like all the big box gyms and personal owned gyms, the personal trainers don't even use pen and paper anymore. All that stuff is out the window. You know what I mean? Either it's electronically typed up or printed out on a computer, but nothing is done with pencils anymore. You know what I mean? It's too easy to mess with things when you're using pencil. Because it has an erase on the other side. So it's easy to switch things, Not saying that's what's being done, but yeah, man, we should be up, everything in bodybuilding should be on the same level as other sports, how they're operating. You know what I mean? And they expect to someday possibly be streamlined, which I don't think that's ever going to happen, but they got to step with times. And I don't think they want to do that.
And why don't you think they want to do that?
Because there's control in the way they're doing it. My opinion, you know what I mean? If you want to keep certain people in certain places, you can't change things that's been going on for God knows how long. You just can't change it. But if you want, they always say, they want bodybuilding to push forward, they want bodybuilding to change, they want bodybuilding to go into a good direction and a better direction. But if you're not making changes in all aspects of the sport, including judging, like I believe that it should be different judges. It shouldn't always be almost the same 2 or 3 or 4 judges, traveling to these shows. Why don't we have like Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman and some previous bodybuilders that's judging these bodybuilding shows? You can't say they don't have an eye for bodybuilding. That's what I hear a lot. If you make a suggestion to a judge and say, well, this person said or that person said, well, they're not a judge. You have to have a special eye. Either bodybuilding or you don't. You don't need a damn special eye to see somebody that's conditioned, most muscular, symmetrical. You don't need a special eye for that. So until they start changing some of the things they're doing, it's going to continue to be, in my opinion, not straight. I just don't want to use any other word, but it's just not straight if they keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, it's rotate the judges. Just have transparency. What I would like to see, and the reason why I do this, I'm not trying to be an asshole or be whatever and be controversial and bring up these topics. This was happening 10 years ago. I posted a video on my Instagram where, Lee Thompson, he was involved with the Mr. Olympia. He was a judge back. He oversaw all the shows in Texas. He was a huge promoter in Texas. Had like 40 shows or something. And then he got pushed out of the Olympia and he was disgruntled. And he admitted that he was, the Olympia was rigged. The placements, and that was rigged, and he was told to do certain things, and he admitted to that, and he kind of outed the NPC and the Pro League and the Manions and all, Steve Weinberger, and then he was pushed out and he started to start his own thing, and but he admitted that, hey, based on his record, I'm not saying this is what he said, that the Mr. Olympia was rigged. And so, this is why I'm doing this, to give transparency in the scoring and the judges, not have these score sheets that are on paper and pencil that can be erased and edited or ripped up backstage. We'll get into that. And it's done electronically. The scores are on the screen behind the stage or wherever they want to put it. And it's done. And yeah, they say, well, it takes away from the excitement of, who's going to win in the finals. We don't know. Well, you still won't know because you guys judge the finals. So the score is going to change. Yes, we're going to know who's winning after prejudging because you're going to display top, 10 or first through 15 or how many competitors there are. You're going to know where everyone's sitting after prejudging. And so you're going to be able to see, okay, bodybuilder X is with 6 points after prejudging versus a bodybuilder Z that has, 7, 8 points, 10 points, whatever. So he's behind. So he's in second. Guy with the lowest score is in the top. We're going to see that. Is that bad? Is that going to make it less interesting that we know after prejudging, Phil, where the bodybuilders are placed? Or is it going to make it more exciting because, okay, we know where this guy, what do you think?
I mean, for anyone to say it'll lose the excitement if they do that is not intelligent. Okay, I got to watch my words. People be getting mad because I would be saying stupid. So not intelligent. Okay, yeah. Look at it like this. If someone sees the prejudging scores and a bodybuilder believe, oh man, all I got to do now is go back and fix certain things, and I'm only down by 1 or I'm down by 2, so I can fix this and come back in the finals and do better. If you look at every other sport, the score's up there. It could be basketball, football, hockey, and what happens? Do that take away the excitement? No. The team has to come back now that's down to come back now, score enough points to win the game. So how can that not play out in bodybuilding as the same way? You know what I'm saying? These athletes now see where they stand in prejudging. Everybody does. Yeah. So now it's giving them even more to battle for when they come back to finals, fixing whatever they can fix. And if it's a few points, make the adjustments to come back and take that over. It's a great idea to do that. You know what I mean? And like you said, it gives transparency. It lets everybody know, hey, you know what? There's no fooling around. There's no BS going on. Everybody, the fans, it makes the fans even more excited. They can see everything that's going on. You know what I mean? And it just makes the whole bodybuilding thing much more interesting. And the excitement is going to be even more. You know what I mean? But once again, if you do that, that now is going to take away money out of certain people's pockets because things cannot be fixed that way because it's right there so everybody can see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Can't say any better than what Phil just did right there. And it also, right, you have 5 judges. You'd have Judge Jane Smith scores Tony O'Burton, this number, whatever. And you'd see each judge would be held accountable for what they're, just like the Olympics. You see this judge from France voted for this gymnastic person to get this, right? And you see each country or each judge would have their score for the athlete. It would be cool. And then the judge is like, oh, fuck, okay, my name is going to be up on the screen there. And here's my score for this athlete. It holds the judges accountable. There's no fudging. There's no changing after. There's no talking backstage amongst the judges of what we're going to do or what we want to change. Or you don't have a higher up Mannion coming around the table and be like, hey, what's going on here? It's like, I thought we talked, right? And then push the certain athlete they want to win based on sponsorships or money that's coming in from the back end. None of that's going to happen anymore because you can't. It's just, you got to judge as fairly as you can. And I agree. It would bring a lot of excitement to the show. You would get to see what's going on, and athletes can say, okay, I'm close. I can make a comeback tonight. The thing is, the athletes don't even really know. They don't know where they're at after prejudging, right? And sure, everyone knows that I just need to come back better anyways for the finals, but at least you would know, like, it's close. It's 1 point between Hadi and Derek. Oh shit. Okay. So I make a comeback. I know where I'm at. I'm 1 point behind Derek. I can make a comeback. It'd be really cool to have that and to know. It would change the whole dynamic of bodybuilding to know where the athletes are right after prejudging, where the judges have them, who put them where, and whatnot. So will that happen? Probably not. I was speaking to Brian Powers, the president of the Arnold, He is adamantly against doing electronic ballots. He does not think it's a good idea. And I thought, Brian, the Arnold is a good show. It's run, production, everything's good, right? And I'm like, why is he so against wanting to use electronic score sheets, using iPads? And then he says, well, man, you don't know how hard it is at the judging table to get power to the table. I'm like, that's your excuse? It's going to be hard to bring power? There's a printer at the table. There's stuff at the table. So you tell me that's your excuse, is that it's too difficult to have all the judges across all the regions and the NPC to have iPads at the tables.
Well, they work off of Wi-Fi.
Dude, that's your excuse.
We're in like 2025, about to go in 2026. Power. No, you're right. Bro. It's hard to get power to the table. No, power is already at the table, bro.
Yeah. You see Wi-Fi and a charge
is at the table doing whatever they need to do. I mean, that's the lamest excuse you can make up where the times are in. iPads are wireless, bro. Wireless.
Yeah. Charge your iPad. Come on. So this is like, come on, it's just common sense. And for him to say that, he also believes there's no politics in judging. There's no corruption in judging. And I'm like, you got to remember, Brian Powers has only been involved in bodybuilding since 2020. Okay. He hasn't been around, back in the 90s or anything. He's new. So maybe he just doesn't know better. Or maybe he's just pretending to not know, but, and he said he'd come on the show. He said, hey, I'll come on the show.
I don't know Brian Powers. I just know him from his name.
Yeah.
And I probably saw him a little bit at whatever. But if you're that ignorant to the circumstances, listen to me. There's politics in everything in the world. There's corruption in everything in the world. If it's happening in the government, it's happening in all sports. It's in basketball. It's in football. I remember the one year they put up before the Super Bowl. They put up before the Super Bowl the teams that were going to be in the Super Bowl before they even got in the Super Bowl, and the teams did end up in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So you're going to tell me? So Brian, probably he needs to change his last name instead of Powers. But there's corruption in every single situation in this world, and there's politics. It's just how much of it is in it, but it's there.
Yeah. And that's all it is. We know it's there. Everyone, like even Palumbo's admitted, yes, of course, there's politics in bodybuilding. Yes. Right. So if there's ways we can try and streamline things and make it more transparent for the athletes, they kill themselves to do these shows. The least we can do as a sport, it's not a federation. This is a business. The NPC and the IFBB, it's not. It's a business. As a business, at least they can do for the athletes is be transparent, modernize the sport, make it more streamlined, and do this electronic scoring for the judges. It's not that hard to do. Get an app made, and then you could even make it cool and have an app for the Pro League or the NPC, and then it's all automatically updated on the app for all the fans and spectators to be on their phones and people at home watching. And you could have a cool, you have the bottom of the live stream, you could have the scoring, and make it like they're just missing out on all these opportunities. I don't understand what the hell, why they do this. But anyways, I don't want to rant on too much longer.
I want to say one more thing and a little bit piggyback off of that. Here's people want to ask the question, why? Because they lie and say the sport is growing. It's not. Let's be honest. It's not. Just because you added sponsors or whatever the case may be and the money went up, the sport technically is not growing. Look at the NPC level of each regional shows all around the world. Look at the super heavyweights. Watered down. You'll get one guy, two guy, possibly three, right? Yeah. So that's what you got to look at, because there's a lot of people watching this sport as it goes on or saying to yourself, this is a sport I love to do. Do I really want to invest all this money? And we're seeing unfairness going on. It's not worth putting my health on the line to do that. I remember back when I competed, it was 30 dudes in the open, 30 dudes in light heavyweight.
My class,
the Nationals back in the day, we all know the Nationals was packed in each division. Yeah. So now look at how watered down it's getting, and less people are competing. because of the fact they see what is going on in general in the sport, and they just believe they don't have a chance if someone is being pushed on the come up over them, and they could be better than that person being set up to now move on to the next star in bodybuilding. And I'll leave it there. So the sport is not growing like it used to. It's not. I don't care what anybody wants to say.
No, and I mean, people say, well, the prize money is up. Yes, okay, the prize money for the Olympia and the Arnold is up. It's not necessarily up for the regional, the regular pro shows. Some do 30,000, but the majority of them is 15,000 or 10,000 for first place, which has been like that for, I don't know, like 10 years. It hasn't gone up, guys. So you have to look at the regular pro shows, the prize money there. It's not increasing. It's still the same. And then you have the Olympia, where I've said it, it's been, you know, out there that the Olympia is not making any money. It's not turning a profit. And then, you know, what does that mean when, you know, you increase the prize money at the Olympia and you're not making a profit? You're losing more money, right? It's just getting worse, right? So, and then with the Arnold, same thing. You know, Arnold, is Arnold putting up the money himself for the prize money? I've heard things through the grapevine that that's what's happening. That's how it's gone up to 750, because let's be honest, which sponsor is paying that much for prize money? There's no sponsor that's paying 700. It's not. So where's that money coming from? It's probably coming from Arnold's pocket, right? And thank God for Arnold. If that is the case, he's doing that. We appreciate it, but it doesn't signify that the sport is actually growing. And you know, they're missing out on all these opportunities to grow the sport, to market it.
Do you think it's going to be sustainable for Arnold to keep the prize money at that price every year? That's the question we have to ask ourselves.
Not if
we
the
know
Expo,
the Olympia didn't go up. The Olympia did not go up when they had all opportunities now to go back at Arnold and go up in the money. So that's letting you know the money isn't really there. It's not being made. So they didn't take the risk to up any prize money in the Olympia, which I think they should have. I think these open bodybuilders and all those athletes in the Olympia deserves, in all division, the monies to go up. But once again, if you're not making it, you can't do it. But that's what I'm thinking. Is Arnold going to be able to make that sustainable? I don't think so. So is it just for this year? He didn't claim it will be every year. He just said, you know, 2026, this is what it's going to be. He didn't say this is what it's going to be for the long haul. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And they didn't announce it at the Olympia this year. Usually, you know, Jake came on stage last year and he just was $600,000 check in his hand. And like, oh, okay, surprise. And so we were thinking that there would be a bigger check on the Olympia stage this year, and that didn't happen. They held back. So why didn't they increase the prize money? You have to look at the signals here. Maybe they're going to do it at 2026 Olympia on the day, walk out on stage with $1 million check. That's
but how are they going to do that when the 212 prize money went down? Even Keanu even posted that the 212 money went down. So are you going to take from other divisions? Take from other division and then put it in the open, which I think will be very unfair if that's what they're going to end up doing. But that's the only way they can up the prize money, is now take from the other athletes in the other division and push it to the open.
Yeah, they're just moving money around. And anyways, I don't want to be a negative Nancy on all this. Like again, me and Phil, we love the sport. That's why we do this every Monday. We take time out of our days to come and talk about bodybuilding and recap the shows and whatnot. But we also want the sport to get better. And the only way that it can get better is to talk about these things that are happening in the sport that aren't necessarily that good. And it's hard to talk about things that aren't good. We want to talk about things that are positive. And if there is positive things happening in the sport, which I said the prize money for the Olympia and the Arnold is increased, which is good. It's a good thing, but is it sustainable? And you know, what's going to happen in the future with the judging and the scoring and digitizing things and just making things better for the athletes, right? So hopefully, maybe having these discussions and putting them out there in the air, that more people will talk about it and care about these things, because we don't talk about it. Look, we're 2025 and we're still using paper and pencil. So someone's got to take the risk. I'll take the risk and talk about it. No one is against it. Like I put a poll up. It's 90%, 85% want electronic ballot. It's not the reverse. So the polling's there. We're getting the feedback from the fans. The spectators, they want it. So why won't the NPC and the Pro League give it to them? Right? I think I know why, but it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Bringing me to big allegations. I had an interview with Jim Rockell. I want to get Phil's take on this because I haven't really discussed this with Phil. Jim Rockell, former vice president of the NPC. He was a head judge of the Pro League and judged a lot of pro shows, the Mr. Olympia. He's been there, done that. He helped build the NPC up with Jim Mannion, worked closely with Steve Weinberger. He trained Tyler Mannion at the request of Jim Mannion on how to judge. So he's like a mentor to Tyler Mannion. So very credible in that sense that he has been there in the weeds with this organization. And for Jim Rockell to come on and say, I've seen Steve Weinberger go backstage and rip up the score sheets, is a massive allegation. And he said he's seen it multiple times. Now, there's absolutely no reason for Jim Rockell to say that just for shits and giggles, right? There's no reason for him to say that, to lie. It's a serious allegation. And Jim's a smart man. And there's no reason for him to make up a lie like that. So do I believe him? Yes. Okay. Based on what I've been dealing with Steve Weinberger and his character and swearing at me and F-bomb here, F-bomb that. Yeah, I can see Steve getting wound up and doing some shit backstage. Right. So what's your take on this? That's a major allegation from Jim Rockell and saying that about Steve Weinberger.
I mean, it's not really much I can really say about it. All I know is that he did make the same statement on the New York Times.
Washington Post.
Yeah, Washington Post. Sorry, if he takes the time to go on and people go on and see that this was not the first time this was said. I'm seeing some people saying, this is better to be true, and Steve wants to sue or whatever. Listen, it would have happened back then when it was much on a brighter scene, right? I don't know the guy, and I don't see no reason why, anyone would want to get on and speak about what's going on or what has or is going on allegedly. I don't know with the sport, right? I can't say I believe anyone because honestly, he could be speaking his truth, but they all have dirt.
Yes.
He can still speak on what's going on. Because I heard somebody make a comment, ask him about blah 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Well, here it is, everybody. Just because someone speaks their truth of what they saw with their eyes, and just because we didn't see it, doesn't make them liars because we didn't see it. Okay, exactly. There's no benefit of him coming out and saying this because he no longer is with the IFBB Pro League.
Yeah.
So it has to be some type of justification to it. But remember, every time someone speaks out that was involved with this sport, of course, they all have some type of dirt on themselves as well. And I don't think they can deny it. But if they're going to shed light on, some serious situation regarding allegedly these scorecards being ripped up or whatever the case may be, I don't see any benefit of him lying about it. So if he's speaking he's speaking, from what he saw and what he was around. And you could say he's a disgruntled employee. Why wouldn't he? I mean, if somebody was to get pushed out of something that they helped build, you're not going to be upset. Any human being is going to be upset, and it's probably going to give them more reason to speak up, and speak the truth about what's going on. So at the end of the day, like I said, he spoke about it before several years ago. So there is justification to it. And we don't need to ask anybody, well, what about this and that he did? They all did their little game playing with whomever in the sport. But that's not what he's talking about. We're not talking about anything other than what he's basically speaking is true. So there's got to be some justification to it. I don't see the benefit of him coming on here and lying about it if it never really happened when it was already said. Once again, he said it on a much more broader stream several years ago.
Yeah, this was all documented in the Washington Post. investigation that they did an extensive investigation into the NPC and to the corruption, right? Into their finances, to the cash payments, all these things that the NPC was doing with regards to Mannion and going from a non-profit to a for-profit, and not letting all the members of the non-profit board members know that that was even taking place. Kind of did it behind their backs, as reported in the Washington Post article. And, you have J.M. Mannion as a photographer getting paid $500,000 salary. You kind of want to look into the numbers, and that's what the Washington Post did. Like, how is the photographer, the son of Jim Mannion, J.M. Mannion, getting paid over $500,000 as a photographer? This is registration money. This is hard-earned money from the athletes paying into this federation at the time. And J.M. Mannion's getting paid $500,000 to be a photographer. Damn. Sign me up. I want to become a photographer and make that much money shooting bodybuilding shows. So this is like, it's there. It's in front of our eyes that there is this weird kind of shady stuff that happens. And I get it's a business, people, right? It's a family business. They're trying to cut corners and do these things, whatever. But it's just not a good look. It's just shady, kind of dirty feel to it. And then you obviously, if you guys want to go check out the Washington Post article, it's all there. J.M. Mannion taking nude photos of the competitors. And then there's intimidation, and the competitors come out and they speak out. These women, they've felt used and all this. Anyways, I don't want to go down that road. There's more there if you guys want to go into it. But I'm just saying, like, the family, this whole dynamic is just, it's not good. And Steve Weinberger is all tied up in there too, and allegations against him. So this is, and again, so why am I doing this? Why the fuck am I talking about all this shit now? Okay. I'm doing this because I want it to get better. I don't want this shady judging system. I'm not saying it's across the board. I'm not saying it's every pro show, but it does happen, right? And especially when we have these controversial calls, and it's just like, it's like clearly, man, that's completely way off. What's going on with this call, right? We have a lot of experts. We have a lot of people that have been in bodybuilding for a long time watching these shows. And they're like, no, man, that guy should not have won the show. And so to get away from that, we need to clean up the sport and stop the shit. But do I think it's going to happen as long as these people are in power? Probably not. Probably not. So it is what it is. Let's go into the Bigman weekend. Did you catch up on that show in Spain?
I just looked at some pictures briefly because it wasn't live stream, so it was
no, Bigman was. It was good.
It was
actually,
I didn't physically see it. No, I saw some pictures, and I saw what's his name, Coach what's his name, Couture. He was saying that his guy won, and he actually made a statement about that, which I think is kind of bold and crazy. That Mark Hector looked better and came in improved, and he should have won the show and stuff like that. Mark Hector is a great bodybuilder, man. He's done quite a few shows. He looks amazing in a lot of the shows he does. Structurally, he's built very well. Have a nice small waist, and he has density to his muscles. He comes in good condition. Clearly, this guy was just stacked with a lot of muscle. I don't think from what I see in the pictures. I didn't see a super sharp conditioned body. I think that he was a little bit, even from this picture here, the front double biceps a little thicker in the waist. He's a big boy. He's very tall. How tall is this guy? It looks like he's
6 at least.
No, he's got to be more than 6 feet because he was standing next to Samson Dauda, and Samson looks shorter than him. Okay. It's got to be up there.
Jesus.
Samson is about six feet. Yeah, Samson's 6 foot. Me and Samson's almost the same height. So this guy's got to be 6'2". Look how tall he is. He's got to be 6'1" because Mark Hector is not shorty. I think Mark Hector he's got to be close to 6 foot.
Yeah,
he's not a short dude, but he's a big boy. But I just don't see. I think he's just big, man. He won because it's a big man show. He won because he's big.
Yeah, he brought enough conditioning and had enough size that the combination was just enough to take the win. I think it was. I haven't seen. I didn't check. I usually check the scorecards. I didn't see the scorecards posted anywhere. Actually, I can probably check that for you guys while we watch this. Okay, so you're okay with him winning? You think it's justified? I thought it was
It's justified. I mean, he's a big boy, man. I mean, look at him standing next to the guys. Everybody else looks shorter. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. He looks like he's 6'1". He looks very tall and massive.
Let me see if I can find the scorecard. If there's a scorecard.
Where's he from?
Poland or something? Is he Polish? I think he's Polish. I could be wrong, guys. There's someone in the chat. Do you know where he's from? Let's see if they posted the scorecard. I don't think they...
I was shocked it wasn't a deeper lineup than this. I'm very shocked. But I guess, you know, a lot of these guys competing in a lot of shows. They just didn't want to push it. I guess this was the last one of the year.
It is. Bigman scorecard. No, it's not. There's nothing. No. Anyways. Yeah. So that's Damien. So he's qualified for the Olympia. Mark Hector. What do you think? I could have had either guy win. There's some imbalances in Mark. His posing, I think, still needs to improve. But what do you think? What do you think with Mark Hector? What does he got to?
I don't have any complaints, man. I think Mark Hector looks phenomenal. I just think the guy that beat him is just way too big. Yeah. I mean, nobody is a perfect poser. I mean, there's people in the top 5 in the Olympia that's not perfect posers. I don't think anybody really. Only person I can say that perform and poses absolutely crazy is Hadi Choopan. That guy is just any pose he hits, it's just remarkable. But I think he posed good enough. I just think he might be just a little undersized. He has good shape, good structure. He has good enough muscle on his physique. He's proportioned. There's nothing that's super off that strikes me that, you know, he's not put together well. I just think the guy he's a big dude. He made Mark look a little small up on stage, you know, and you got to go from the show. It's a big man show, so they're going to go for a big man as long as he's in condition and look good, you know. So, yeah. But kudos to Mark. I mean, he took second. Kudos to him. I mean,
he's doing
I know
good.
He's battling to try to get to the Olympia. I know he wants to get there. Hopefully, you know, it happens next year.
Yes. So keep on going. He can put on a little bit more size. Pablo looked good. Very maybe some of the best conditioning in the show, at least from the front. Do you think what do you think about his physique when you see this?
He has a very good physique. I just don't like how his stance for his legs. I think these guys that do these toes pointed way out, and it reminds me like a kangaroo stance or a horse stance. I don't know what it is. I guess they want to give the illusion that their legs have more sweep to them, but it doesn't look attractive when the feet's that wide and the toes are pointing that wide out. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't look great. I think the feet should come in a little bit more. The toes should be in a little bit slightly more. And I think that will make him look like he has good sweeps to his legs. But when you try to do that over dramatic, I think even Derek Lunford did that. I don't think it was this year, but he does that too when it's toes pointed out to give a much more thicker adductor look from the inner thigh seat. And he doesn't have great sweeps though. So he's trying to give the illusion that he does.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks good though. Good mass and conditioning, muscularity. But yeah, this like he's standing kind of awkwardly.
But other than that, I mean, the guy, incredible physique, nice small waist, nice thick upper chest, doing the lat spread. So yeah, he looks very good.
This guy's very aesthetic. He obviously won. Crazy chest, lots of thickness. I think he could do well in the future. I think he, if he goes into the Olympia, can he be top 10? It depends. He's bigger than Urs, right? He's got more muscle. I think Urs beat him already in the.
Yeah, he could be bigger, but Urs has that. It's that structure and that shape. It's coming from between the classic physique and working his way into the open. Structurally, no, I don't think he'll beat her. Listen, he's a big guy, but when you step on the Olympic stage, there's a lot of things you're going to have to add and bring in to break that top 10. That top 10 is very tough to break.
Yeah. And you can see his conditioning was, like you said, a little bit. He's holding a little bit of water or something.
A little bit of water.
Yeah. But great structure. Big guy. His waist is pretty much under control. Really like his aesthetic look, right? You know, big guy like that. That's what Nick Walker needs to kind of emulate, this tight waist in the shots. But you know, it is what it is with that. So, but looks good. Good on him. I think he's like not even 30. It's crazy.
Yeah.
He looks, it's crazy. These guys are young and they're doing this well. So good on him. So yeah, there wasn't a big show. I think that's the last show of the year. Bigman Pro. So it's going to be
Yeah.
kind of, we're going into the slow season. So the Monday lives, we're gonna see what there is to talk about when there's not much shows going on. We have Derek, who's on podcast today, and he said that he's not doing the Arnold.
Yeah, I
He
told you that.
is, yeah, he's not doing the Arnold. Yeah, we kind of we knew he's not going to do it. He's going to attend the Arnold, but he's not going to do the Arnold, and yeah, he's going to spend time with
You know, we should talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Was it Tariq and Chris Cormier? They were talking something about the women. Was it I forgot who was it with the legs being enhanced? And it's crazy because like that's why I like Chris Cormier. Like, you know what I mean? He'll basically tell you his truth. You know what I mean? Because he has an eye when he sees certain things, Chris Cormier. It's crazy because when I was watching the Olympia, I didn't catch it until some pictures are put up from last year Olympia and then this year Olympia, looking at the legs. And before, like when what's her name? The one that won last year, what's her name again?
Natalie.
Yes. When she made a statement about it, when I first hear it, I'm like, stop being a sore loser. Don't rant on somebody. But then when it's brought to light, I guess she knew. I mean, she must have knew to be able to make that statement. And once again, everybody like to say people make statements and it's not true. Research it. You're not doing but she made that statement already knowing something was enhanced. And then when I saw it, I was shocked. I was like, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know of Natalia and she's a great bodybuilder. And to even see that is very shocking because, listen, man, we know it's bodybuilding. Everybody's doing something, right? It's not drug-free. So technically, nobody's technically cheating. But I think when the cheating comes involved is when it's being enhanced with any type of oil. Then that's cheating because you're not working and putting that muscle on in the gym. You're enhancing that muscle with a chemical. To me, that is cheating.
Yes.
But I'm shocked that Tariq, as a judge, is defending it instead of using the special eye that they all have. You should be able to see it. They marked when Hadi Choopan had the flared up shoulders, he technically got marked down a couple years before that. You notice his shoulders went down because we all saw something was going on with those shoulders. So I think that should be a little bit more controlled also in the sport of bodybuilding. Like if these judges have this special eye, they should know when something doesn't look like it worked for, I believe.
Agreed. And there may be more stuff coming on that. So we'll keep it there, and we're going to hold people accountable, and things may come out here pretty soon. So we'll may circle back to this here. So but good reference, good point there on that. And I agree 100%. It should be fair. Athletes shouldn't be able to use enhancements. Obviously they use steroids, but aside from that, putting in different oils and different substances to expand the muscle, make it look bigger, that would be, in my eyes, cheating because it's not real muscle. It's pumped up with other shit and giving them an unfair advantage versus just taking steroids and building your own natural muscle with the steroids. Okay, that's a fair playing game field. You're okay. You're just working your best what you can do with your genetics and the drugs you're taking. But when you're putting like stuff in your body, like enhancements and like almost like plastic surgery in a sense, not good. And people need to be called out on that because we can't start that pattern, right? If she gets away with it, if that's what's happening, we don't know yet. We'll dive into that at another point.
Yeah, we don't know. Allegedly, that's what we're hearing, but I do know it's in open bodybuilding. That I know
Yes,
for a
it
fact,
is.
because I stand next to people where it is, and that bothers me because the word bodybuilding is building your body,
Yes.
not
Yes.
injecting and enhancing your body with chemicals. That's not bodybuilding.
No, not at all. And on our show, we will hold them accountable. And again, that may be coming down the pike, and we'll chime in on that when it comes. I wanted to talk about big old Samson Dauda. Here we go. Here's a big man. He didn't take your advices, Phil. He's going for that 350.
What are you, 200, 230 some pounds? 300 something pounds.
Yeah, he's
330 something.
335 right now. He's like, I'm going to get the 350. And he's he's gung ho. He broke the scale. And it's I pause it there because obviously it's off season, your stomach. But that's my main concern is the midsection. Is it gonna get pushed out while he's pushing himself up? Because when you're off season, you can't really your stomach gets bigger just by default. You're eating a lot of food, right? We all get that in the off season, a little bit of a pouch there in your shirt sticking out. But sometimes you don't notice it as much until you start coming down and you go, oh shit, my waist got bigger. Damn.
Right? I mean, it's definitely prone to happen. And I just want to know, like, getting to 350, like, how's that going to shift over though? Because a lot of these bodybuilders, they'll put on all this crazy weight on the off season. And a lot of it we know is not good weight, even though they look big and round and puffy and everything else. But then when you have to strip that off, I mean, I heard Quentin even talking about that. Like, he wants to keep himself in much better shape in the off season than he used to, because he noticed that when you're trimming down and you lose that 20 pounds and you still got to lose an extra 5 or 8 more pounds, it's not justifying all the weight you put on in the off season when it pretty much all has to get, I don't want to say all, but the majority has to get cut off for you to bring in that mint condition and hold on to muscle. So I don't know the logic behind getting super big, pushing to 350, 360, when you already know 40 of that got to come off, prepping for a show, if not more. So I just don't understand that ideology of doing that. But I mean, he's a grown man, do what he wants.
Yeah, if you're 350 and you got to come back down to say 305, that's 45 pounds to drop for what? Right? Like, are you going to be bigger at 3? Is he going to be 315 on stage? Because if he was 305 at the 2024 Olympia, supposedly that's what he says. Just take his word for it. If he's going to be bigger this year in 2020 or next year 2026, what's the justification? But if you come back down to the same weight you were, then what was that for? Other than making it harder on your health, your sleeping, your sleep apnea, your breathing,
your heart.
He's 40 years old now, right? More health risks come at older age. We don't want something to happen to him. I think as you get older, he should be training smarter, like you, Phil. Like you, you incorporate that, right? And that's how you're still doing what you do. You look good, healthy. So
there's life after bodybuilding, Matt. I mean, I understand he wants to regain his title, and I want him to regain his title, but there's ways to do it smart. Because after bodybuilding, where are you going to be at? I mean, it still hurts me to this day to see Ronnie Coleman in the state that he's in, because that was my idol, my icon growing up as a kid. To see him in mint condition from a police officer into, winning the Olympia 8 times, and then, seeing what I'm seeing. It's just, I don't know, man. That's one thing I listened to a lot from George Farrell when he coached me. He said, no matter what, Phil, always remember there's life after bodybuilding. Yeah. So if you're going to give everything to bodybuilding and have no life after, you tell me, was it worth it? No.
No. So, you know what? He's taking a gamble. He's going all in, trying to get bigger. And if you try to do that very fast, like, he seems like he's just a madman. Like, he just want here. You could tell he's this. So it's like, man, is he gonna screw shit up here? And then coming to the Olympia, not in condition because he got all the sides. And then you got Derek and Hadi always shredded. Or even now, Andrew's figured out the formula.
Yep, and then you
and
got
he's in
Martin
fourth
in the
again.
mix. I mean,
Martin, Nick,
this next year is not going to be a cake in the park. I'm
no,
telling you right now. It's not about who's the biggest guy. Yes, you need muscle to win. Yes, you need to be super full, but you also have to be in condition.
yes, and that's
So
all
these
the
are
judge.
things we have to hold in our minds,
Yeah,
Samson. So
we're rooting for you, Samson. We want you to win. Okay, and then so that reminds me now that we're saying this. Let's go back there. Fuad saying that it's going to be.
I heard that today.
But Samson's not. Is he talking about the Olympia or is he talking about the Arnold?
No, he's talking about the Olympia. That you're going to see both of them, the Nigerians first and second.
The Nigerians will be 1 and 2. I don't know what order, but the Nigerians will be 1 and 2 in 2026. I have a feeling. I just have this crazy fucking feeling that they're going to be standing there and it's going to be too hard to ignore.
Okay, so if it's for the Olympia, okay, I could potentially see that.
For the Olympia.
But you can't count out Hadi Chupon and
that's what I said today. Like Patty brought it to my attention. She said, "Well, I can see that." I said, "Well, I can't. No disrespect, I can't." So what I got to do is I got to go back to what I saw this year, even though Samson will come back better, but I got to go by that drop, right? So he will have to basically make an attempt to do a Derek Lunsford. And we know he's not going to do that because I don't think he's doing Arnold unless he's going to jump into Pittsburgh. I don't know. But I've not seen Hadi Chupon get kicked out of second place yet. Have you?
No.
That's what I'm saying. So to make that call, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Two big, tall Nigerians, which I love both of them. Yeah. But I haven't seen Hadi Chupon not make that second place yet. So I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I like Fuad's humor. It sounds good. Yeah. But I just don't see Hadi Chupon taking anything. I believe Hadi Chupon will ever get back his title? No. But I just don't see him coming out of that second place unless he comes in worse than ever.
Yes, unless he slips up. All right. If Hadi just focuses on the Olympia again and doesn't do the Arnold, which I think there's a 50% chance he's doing the Arnold, then he may. You never know. Hey, Hadi, we can't say it's not possible. Hadi can win the Olympia again if Derek slips up, and then Andrew didn't peak properly, and Samson's came in too heavy again, and whatever there, and then Hadi's the best man standing left, and he's the most conditioned, and he peaked perfectly. Yeah, I think actually Hadi Chupon could win the 2026 Olympia if things align properly for him. So sure, technically, if there's politics in play and the powers that be want certain individuals to be where they're going to be because they use paper and pencil and they don't want to put on electronic ballots, right? Then, maybe that's what would happen. But from a marketability standpoint, from a money standpoint, although Howdy has way more fans than Derek Lunsford does, I'll tell you that much right now.
With Andrew, I think they figured out the formula for Andrew. I can't see Andrew coming off. I think the formula has been figured out. I think Andrew is going to be in that mix battling for Mr. Olympia title next year. I could be speaking too soon, but from what I saw within the two shows and the dramatic changes, and I've witnessed and been around and trained with Kamal, and like Kamal said, it's not just all about his training. They're putting both their heads together, and it's good when you're creating a formula that works on both ends. I just know Kamal is very strategic and smart with his training and how he puts it together. And it's pretty much old school training. It's nothing spectacular that he's doing. He's really doing hardcore old school training. So Andrew will definitely be still in the mix, if not battling. I think Hadi Chupon is Hadi Chupon. He's going to always be there. I think what we're going to have to see now is Derek improving and being better to defend that title, and seeing if Samson Dauda could make it happen, bring that all in, and he only needs to have that conditioning he had when he won, but just a tad, about 10% better. He can do that. He can regain his title. If he does not do that, he will not regain his title. And I don't believe if he does not regain his title next year, he's not going to be able to regain that title again.
No, and
So it's his opportunity. It's in his hands now. So I hope the logic that they're putting together, him and his wife, that it all plays out the right way and it brings him in spectacular and on point to regain it. But I noticed that you come back a second time and you don't regain it. We saw Derek only lost it once and he did come back and get it the following year. If you don't get it within the 2 years, I'm sorry. I've not seen anybody since Jay Cutler do that. You're not going. If you lose 2 years in a row, you're not getting that title back.
Yeah, and the track record with Samson doing the Olympia, placing fourth, looking his worst he's looked since I think he's competed, and then going to the Prague Pro and still not coming in tighter and better. He came in a little tighter, but just wasn't his best look, and conditioning wasn't the best. And Martin was good, and that is what it is. And then some people had Samson winning, some people had Martin winning. That's debatable.
Yeah, I was backing Samson. But we got to admit it did hurt his stock. I really wish he didn't have done that show.
Yeah.
Even though I was pulling for him regardless. But that hurt his stock. It really did.
And that's what I'm saying. Now the track record where they just still couldn't with Andrew, his stock is right there because he did the Olympia, third place. Could have won second, whatever, goes to Romania, looks, if not the same, if not better or close, whatever, and kept the conditioning, right? A little fuller, right? And he's able to do it again after a long stretch. So we're like, now, okay, like you said, I think they figured out the formula. And now we're like, that's okay. They figured it out. Just like Derek's figured it out and Hadi's figured it out. These guys can do it year after year and come in pretty close, if not better every year. Now Andrew's figured it out. Samson has not done that. He's not proved to us that he can do it back to back and slightly improve show to show. So that's the scary part. And that's where going into the Olympia, I don't think Samson's going to be a front runner. I think it's going to be Derek, Hadi, Andrew as front runners. And Samson's going to be, I'm going to say it now, a lot of people are going to be predicting Samson to get fourth, the 2026 Olympia, which is unfortunate. And Martin might even be in some predictions higher than Samson because he's beat Samson and he's being consistent with the conditioning. So this is really this is the biggest show Samson's going to do is the 2026 Mr. Olympia. And this is the most he's ever going to have to prove himself. And taking a brand new strategy to come in bigger, 350 pounds in the off season. I hope it doesn't backfire because I want to see him do well. But it's maybe not the best time to take that big of a risk when you already figured it out for 2024 and you look really good and you won. Go back to that formula, like you were saying, Phil, before. Just go back. Yeah. Go back to that.
I think the biggest he got when he won was it was 330, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Even though we all thought he was crazy doing these shows going into the Olympia, especially one that was very close, it actually worked out for him. So unless his logic next year is not just getting ready for the Olympia, actually picking one or two shows prior, I think that for his physique and the texture of his skin is what's going to help benefit him to come in on point for the Olympia. If he just comes in for the Olympia, my heart is telling me he will not nail it. Yeah. He's a guy that you have to do one or two shows leading into the Olympia. Mm-hmm. And just because everybody wants to say, oh, well, do you think it's the texture of his skin and blah, 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 blah. No, because he did even though he got smaller, and I don't believe he was as shredded as he should have been because the fullness wasn't there to have the muscle tighten up on that skin, have that skin stick. Yeah. But I'm just telling you out of my experience of being around for a while. I mean, I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that is his game plan to just go into the Olympia without a previous show to get a semi-peak and bring in the conditioning, he's not going to nail it. And then his placement may be possibly worse than fourth. That's just my personal opinion. So I'm pretty sure they're going to do a show before they go into the
Yeah.
Olympia. That's just the logic I know they're going to do. Go back to what worked before and just tighten the screws just a little bit better. But don't take away from what got you the title. Just tighten the screws just a little bit better. That's all you got to do. Don't overdo it. Listen, we overdo it and went too small. Now we're about to overdo it and go too big. What happened to being split in the middle and work from there? So sometimes we got to get out of our own heads.
Yeah. Agreed. Hopefully Samson can pull it together for 2026 Olympia. Maybe he does one show close. I don't think the Pittsburgh, that's too far away. But if he does like the France, maybe that strategy worked last time. Maybe just follow the same strategy that worked. Just do the same strategy. It worked last time. I wanted to quickly, before we wrap it up, and we're going to get into the Masters here at the end, and we get a little update there. These nominations for these Beyond the Stage TV, great Instagram profile. I'm not hating on their page. They work hard. They do a fucking ton of updates, like 20 posts a day, right? So, but these international, I'm not saying I need to be on this list. I'm saying there's a bunch of podcasts that I think are not on here, and I'm like that are bigger than some of the podcasts that are listed here. And so I'm just, what is the criteria if you're going to do this? Be transparent with like how these nominees are being selected, and they're saying, well, these are the nominees that people are sending us, and so we're just taking them. I'm like, okay, there should be a better system. Whenever I see things like this and there's judging, and even with our judging, I'm particular. Now this judging, I'm like, where's the transparency?
What is this going on? The nominees for
International Podcast Nominee of the Year. So
who's leading? Jay Cutler?
Well, he's not on there. And then there's Bodybuilding Down Under, and Cutler Cast is on this one, yeah. And then Men's Physique Podcast. And I'm like,
I don't know what that is.
But, so I've never watched one episode of that. Okay, so I don't know. There's lots of other podcasts. Not saying me. I'm saying I have to be on there. I'm new in this, but that have been around for years, right? That are not even a nominee. So I'm like, okay, how are they doing the nomination system here? So
where's Nick Function Power? Is he on there?
No, Nick straight. Ivan Bodybuilding's not on there.
Right. Well, then this is nonsense. That's my opinion.
That's why I was like, okay, like of course, Bro Chat's on there, but Bro Chats, I mean, that's a big channel, so obviously,
yeah, and the name alone, the Bro Chats, they do a good job over there.
Yeah, they do lots of interviews and stuff. So yeah, okay, I'm not going to hate on that. They've earned their due to be up there, but Bodybuilding Down Under is on the same list as Cutler Cast.
And then it's Australia Down Under.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I've never watched an episode. I don't know what
I've never heard of it, so. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
But yeah. So, anyways, I wanted to chime in on that a little bit. So yeah, Phil, give us an update. Have all of the Masters Olympia competitors been paid yet since Jake Wood made the announcement?
Almost. It's still a few, but even some got paid. I think 3 or 4 people got paid this week. So it's coming in. They were shocked because they were told it was going to be wired, and then they saw a check pop up in the mail. They're making jokes. Well, I hope it cashes. I said, it'll cash. Don't worry about that. But so it's getting better. I don't think I'm going to see if Classic Physique. What's his name? I forget his name.
Puerto Rican? No, he's not Puerto Rican guy.
No, he won the not Classic Physique. Oh. He won the Masters.
AJ.
No, AJ, I think got paid.
Yeah, he did.
AJ got paid. Ferguson. I don't even know if he got paid yet. But the majority, like the women, and the majority, their checks are starting to go out. Slow as molasses, but better slow than never, right? But they are getting out there. But I think it's just a few. But Ferguson, I don't think he got paid yet. Probably he'll get paid this week. But it's gotten better. It's gotten better to the point where I think everybody should be paid within this week to next week. I think everybody should be paid. It's sad. I apologize for everybody that it's taking this long, but if the money ain't there, it ain't there. So they only can pay you when the money's there, which the money should have been there from the other promoter. But we all know the story of that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the Japan Pro athletes have been paid. I mean, maybe we'll hear about that couple months from now.
They ain't going to get paid no time soon. They're going to at least wait for a good 2, 3, 4 months.
Yeah.
They already know this going in the show. If they are been watching what's going on with the promoter, they got enough common enough sense that they're probably gonna be good little patient young men and just wait for it. They're not gonna complain.
Yeah.
Because they got sponsors. When you have sponsors and you're not hurting for money at all, you can sit back and wait a couple months for your pay, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. And and I wanted to wrap it up a little bit here with like this show, Muscle Discord, and the conversations we have about the industry. And I'm not trying to, like I said in the beginning of the show, I'm not trying to be a dick or trying to be hateful towards Steve Weinberger or whoever, or the Manions. I morally, knowing what I know now and the contacts that I have in the industry, the sources that I have, and the information that's given to me, and the field gets information as well. I can't stand by and just be like, man, let's turn a blind eye to it. And so at the end of the day, when you see these videos and these things that are coming out, the end goal and the reasoning why I'm doing it is not to be a dick and be an asshole, right? But it's to help the sport, to help the athletes, that there's fairness. There's never going to be 100% fairness. But if we can prove it, right? If we can improve it, make little baby steps towards betterment of our sport, I'll be happy. And if they can recognize it and come out and say, hey guys, we're going to come up with this. We're going to come up with the new judging system here with electronic. We're going to do it. That'd be huge news in the industry. Steps towards more. They're going to actively say, hey, we're going to try and be more transparent with the judging because you guys requested it, and we feel like that needs to be done. We're going to move away from paper and pencil. If I can start the conversation for these things, put a spotlight on them, and know that we're watching, right? And there's a spotlight, there's social media on them. When other channels aren't going to do it, I'll keep doing it. Even if I take the heat, when I get blacklisted, whatever, that's the end goal, is to make the sport better, because I love the sport. It's my life. I've been doing it for 20 years. I'm heavily involved in it. I don't want to tear down the league or whatever. If things come along in the future, they come along in the future. But right now, this is all we got for the most part.
Matt, you gotta look at it.
Yeah.
You gotta look at it. 60 Minutes is on every Sunday. And they love to shed light on a lot of things that's not being done right.
Good point.
Right? So probably some people need to step outside of the bodybuilding world, and let's jump into the politics of the world and take some time and watch 60 Minutes and some shows that set up like that.
Yeah.
Then come back to bodybuilding and bring a little common sense, and you'll probably understand what's being said. It's not us trying to destroy, nor disrespect, nor tear down and cause any kind of unwill through words to anyone.
No.
But if something is being done not right, and you're asking for certain things to be done right, how can anyone out there see something wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Matt loves the sport. You all know I love the sport. I've been in it for quite some time, right? And know a lot about it. I'm 51 years old. I started training at 13 years old. I've been in the game for a very, very long time. You know what I'm saying? And even when the cards were against me, making moves in the open against these great bodybuilders, the Ians and, Mad Max and all these guys that I was shooting for to beat and then did end up beating before. It's just a principle of it. So if we can't talk about stuff and you guys get your feelings hurt, or you got to get there's a card they give now when you feel that you're being insulted. It's a stress card they give you. Some card you can walk out of classes and listen. We're all men, man. So look at what we're talking about. I just put some positive. It don't all have to be negative. Stop saying we're being negative. Look at it with a different set of lens and say, okay, well, if that did happen, well, probably it shouldn't continue to happen anymore. And it's sad because it's not going to ever stop. Use that instead of the effing Matt is just on the shit again, fucking this, that, and he knows nothing, and there's nothing credible about him. And there's a lot that he speaks on here that's credible. And anything that he brings up front is research that he puts in to bring it. He don't just come up out of his bedroom singing in the closet. Oh, well, I'm going to go on the show today. I got this, that, no research about it, but this is what I heard. I'm going to come and display it, you know? So at the end of the day, listen, you guys are watching. We appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate you guys, you know, on the IGs and going back and forth with your comments. We appreciate all that. But at the end of the day, stop speaking rudely and calling names and stuff like that, because you may not like how we display or say our words to your content, right? Yeah. So we're all trying to do something positive on our podcast. Every podcast out there is trying to do something positive. We're doing it positive, but yet we're shedding light on some things that we would like to be better within the sport of bodybuilding.
That's it. Well said. Can't say it better than that, man. And so hope you guys leave that. And the people that we know are watching that don't like us because they're watching, see what we're trying to do and understand that, right? And people that are in the comments that think, you know, when I call out Bob or whoever for using the R word and being insensitive, that the hate shouldn't come towards me. I didn't say the word, right? So I'm trying to point out these things. But anyways, so we'll catch
Sean
you.
Ray to pull up his pants. He don't need to be on a freaking podcast pulling up his little drawers with his, I don't know what the hell that was. Sean, what are you doing?
Scary. That was SpongeBob.
Give me a call, Sean, and please explain to me why you're on the podcast with Bob Ciccarello in your underwears. Your underwears.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Yeah. He made a quick, I just got out of the shower and I was good. It's like, okay, you just got out of the shower and you walked towards your computer and you had your, okay. So, and it had Bob on the other end there. What were you guys doing before the stream started?
Just user braids.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll wrap things up, man. And Phil, the training I know is always going well. Oh, yeah. You posted some photos. What's your weight in those photos?
I had to put Blue in check, man, because Blue sometimes don't believe in me. So, you know, we made a little wager for Thanksgiving. And he's like, well, I'm going to make sure. I want to see you right after Thanksgiving. So as soon as Thanksgiving I need you to send me pictures on Saturday. I said, I will. And I'm going to be down probably an extra 2 pounds. And I sent it to him. And this freaking jerk off, he was like, hold on. Let me go back through your files. This looked like one of your prep pictures I was getting you ready for a show.
Yeah, this is crazy.
And he said, holy crap, no, that is you. I said, I'm trying to tell you. You know, honestly, Matt, I've been with Involving Vitality for months now. And they have been working with me and they've been working with my clients that I physically train. And by working with them, they're bringing out the best of me I've ever seen. You know what I mean? And I love them. I love them both. I love Chad. I love Michael. We sit on the phone. We talk. We strategize of ways to use me for the older, more youthful, seasoned men and women out there to show them that this can be done at all ages if you just really take care of yourself and use some of their wellness products because it's legit. So I'm pushing Involving Vitality. Anybody wants to stop by, you get a discount. Just tell them Phil Clay or the Jamaican Tech sent you. But yeah, this is all me, and I'm going to get better and better every week.
Yes, this is crazy. Like, I know after a competition, I would just lose it. I would just eat and just let it all go. And this is since August. You've been holding this type of shape and size and fullness, and you're just on a little TRT, right? That's it. Right. And then 51. And that's like, you look at people that are 51, just normal walking on the street. The gray hair, they don't look like beard gray, like they don't, nothing like this. It's not even close to this. So
yeah. And I guess too, man, when I'm trying to teach, you know, yes, I'm getting help with my clinic, but I want to teach to these bodybuilders that after bodybuilding is over, you can still look healthy and in shape and still look like you compete, but you're not done. Healthy.
Yeah.
That's my main focus right now. That's all I'm doing. I want to let my brothers and sisters know as I continue to take my journey to continue to get lean and continue to stay in great shape, to let them know that the older that you get, it is possible and it is more to life than bodybuilding. And this is my new genre I'm pushing right now. I'm gonna show everybody that's in the bodybuilding world that this is how you should want to be after it's over. And you've got to make sure you still have your health as well.
Amen. Amen. It's inspiring to me. I'm in my 40s, early 40s now, and I want to get back in shape. I want to get back into better shape than I am now, and know that I can do it. And there's the inspiration that even by the time I'm 50, I can still, look as good as I can be if I take care of myself, like Phil's doing. So appreciate you, brother, man. Inspiration for us. So keep it up.
I'm trying.
All righty. All right, guys. We will see you next Monday back here on Monday Night Bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding. Monday Night Bodybuilding.
Monday Night
Prime
Bodybuilding.
time. That's what you got to put. Monday Night Bodybuilding. Prime time.
Yes.
Shit's about to go down.
You're going to find it here every week. All right.
All right, brother. I appreciate you as you always. Everybody that's in watching, I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate your true words, your honesty. Even when you want to speak your mind, I tell you to speak it, because I always will respect a female or a male that speaks directly from the heart and not cover anything up and be fake. So don't be fake. Stay real. And that's why you get me and Matt every Monday Night Bodybuilding, prime time.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Take it easy. All right.
Peace.